anyway, yeah. So Asheville, visit Sierra Nevada.
Well, that was a hell of a vacation you guys had.
So it was fantastic. So we went to we did the Outer Banks thing in Avon on Hatteras. Did that. We ended up waiting until Saturday to leave Columbus. We were going to leave on Friday, but Kelly didn't quite have enough time off. So we left Saturday. We stopped in Charlottesville because I love to stop in Charlottesville.
Well, yeah, in a couple of years, Carter's going to be able to take in some of that, like UVA and Monticello and so forth.
We attempted to stop at Monticello last year.
Yeah.
We got out of the car. Yeah. It was easily, and I'm not exaggerating, it was easily 98 degrees.
Oh, easily, sure. Yeah.
And humid. And I said, Kelly.
And probably unusual for being on top of a mountain windless.
Yeah. And like literally every conceivable parking spot, including overflow parking, was full. And we got out of the car and I said, Kelly, I think we need to bag Monticello today. I said,
well, the time the best time to go now, of course, is early May or late September.
Yeah. And I said, Kelly, this is not going to end well. I just can't deal with this. Because she and I had done it together years ago.
He was. In a couple of years, he'll be able to actually kind of appreciate what he's seeing.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to wait. We'll hold off on it. But wait, we love Charlottesville.
Oh, it's beautiful.
They have this
if you're going just out to the Outer Banks and not doing
it's like kind of a perfect stopping spot. It's a halfway point. Yeah, so they've got this whole pedestrianized thing in the downtown.
And it's such a beautiful drive. I-64 over the mountains. It's such a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
It really is.
So, boom, we hit the Outer Banks, like we were there by like 2 on Sunday, vacation there the whole week, and then I don't think this is going to be viewed, but there had been talk of Tom Weatherby and I doing sort of a beer tour somewhere this summer.
Well, I remember you saying that.
This was in lieu of, in order to replace the now infamous float trip.
The St. Louis.
The St. Louis float trip.
Frat boy float trip.
You're right. Yeah. Which he's not allowed to go on anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because he almost died last year.
Well, who weighed down that little calf?
Well, his wife, and then I said, I'm not going on the float trip anymore.
Well, it's very reminiscent of the Great Creek Drunk of 1998.
Well, it's just not. I enjoy spending time with him.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
And that's fine. But all the other guys that go on this float trip are basically, other than the Weatherby folks, are just, they're assholes.
Oh, I mean, Mr. Weatherby is one of my favorite people that I've met sort of peripherally.
So the plan was, all right, let's do some sort of alternate summer trip. Now there is lots of there were a lot of earnest suggestions put forth by Mrs. Weatherby on where we should go and what we should do, but what ultimately then what ended up happening is that Tom Weatherby told his brother in St. Louis, "We're not doing the float trip this year. Tom Kersey and I will do something else." And okay, fine. Well, that we can't have that, right? How are the Weatherbys going to get together? The Weatherbys and son-in-law, as I'm referred to, going to get together. So Tom says, all right, well, we'll schedule a weekend trip out to St. Louis, but we're not doing the float trip. We'll just do some beer tours out there. St. Louis, by the way, YouTubers, has a lot, not just Anheuser-Busch, obviously, which is horrible, but they have lots of great craft brews.
Oh, yeah.
And if anything, Anheuser-Busch helps kind of just the presence of Budweiser there sort of encourages St. Louis. So, all right, so we'll go out there. So I'm like, great, okay, so that's going to be our weekend, our summer trip, craft brewery tour. We're going to drive to St. Louis. We're going to meet Tom's brother, and then the long-lost cousin, and then now long-lost cousin's son. I've met all these guys before.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hit some craft beer tours, and that'll be great. Right, fine. Great. I'm like, all right, I will do this with you. Well, then, so Kelly and I go on this trip to the Outer Banks, and Tom's like, well, Tom, we got to do our trip to Asheville, because that had been one of the options. I said, well, okay.
Have you been to Asheville?
I've never been there. No. And I said, well,
you guys didn't go to Biltmore, did you?
No. But I said,
just as well.
They go there all the time, and so he's been there.
Yeah.
But so I said, well, I thought we were doing the St. Louis thing, but that's fine. We can, I guess, do it. So anyway, it was an extra unplanned event. But so basically, what happened was Kelly and I left the Outer Banks on Saturday.
Yeah.
Drove the 9.5 hours through the mountains. And heat and swamps of North Carolina to Asheville.
Oh, that's a long drive.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
9.5 hour drive.
Well, it's almost a 600-mile drive. But it's a beautiful drive. Well, it's a pretty drive once you hit the mountains.
Carter earned major points
it's not a bad
on
drive
this.
Anyway.
He managed himself very well. Normally the reason we only do 7.5 hours on a day is because after that things start to go south quickly.
Yeah.
Not this year. No, he's older.
Yeah.
So he managed himself well. So we drove from the Outer Banks to Asheville. Now Kelly, there's a little hiccup. Kelly's friend, we got it into our heads that Kelly's friend, who she used to know from Battelle, was only like another 30 minutes away from Asheville. So plan was Kelly was going to drop me off in Asheville, where I would meet Tom Weatherby. He and I would do various brewery tours.
Where does the friend live?
Well, we thought the friend lived in Hendersonville.
I was going to say that'd be.
No. The friend is not.
Which isn't exactly just a short drop.
No. Well, turns out the friend is actually like another 2 hours away. North Carolina is an enormous state.
I've been in
Hatesville. It's another H word, which is why we confuse it.
Okay, yeah.
And we visited her there before.
It's farther south.
It's not further south, but it's back. No, I'll have to ask Kelly because I can't remember now. But anyway, needless to say, Kelly.
I've been to Hendersonville. I've not been to
Kelly got to Asheville, and she's like, "Oh, it's another 2 hours to my friend's house." And she's like, basically, I'm not driving another 2 hours. I'm done. So Kelly and Carter end up getting a hotel room across the street from where Tom and I were supposed to stay. We went out. We had some dinner. Kelly and Carter got up at 7 or 8 Sunday morning and came home. And then Tom and I did some Asheville. So we hit Sierra Nevada.
Oh. Okay.
So Sierra Nevada is a California brewery
who
wanted to expand East Coast distribution, so they built in Asheville. New Belgium, Colorado brewery, wanted to expand production. They opened in Asheville.
They've got nice water out there.
So we hit those two. Those are the big boys in the area.
Nice mountain water.
And then we hit a lot of the local, Highlander, Wicked Weed, bunch of other little local places. Basically brewing, and we did a self-guided tour at Sierra Nevada, which is like, I can't, the money they must have spent to build this place. It's like a small university
campus. They're making it bad.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. So great trip, and then I got back Tuesday.
Oh hell, that's great. That's neat. That's neat stuff. Well, as I said, I've been through. Hendersonville was where the majority of the indigo planters in South Carolina had their summer places because they'd go up there to avoid the malaria. Because the mosquitoes didn't go up that high. That was the first. After they got to Hendersonville, they were high enough. Basically, the mosquitoes didn't get up there.
Right.
Because mosquitoes basically won't bother you over 3,000 feet.
And so we got it in our heads it was Hendersonville, which is like a 40-minute drive from Asheville or something like that. Maybe a little bit.
Well, how you're going.
Well, Kelly drives like the wind. Anyway, so so she was like, after 9.5 hours in the car. Now we left way early. We left like at 6 a.m. So I said, technically, Kelly, it's only like 3 o'clock. You could still make it. She's like, I'm done. Which is fine. Carter was very, very well behaved.
Yeah.
He was done. Right. We got out, and then so Kelly hung out in my hotel room with me, waiting for Tom to get there, and then Carter basically ran, like, this poor kid. He basically ran laps in the hotel room. Well, a 7.5-year-old kid's been sitting for 9 hours. Okay,
he seems to be kind of naturally active.
He's an energetic young man. So
he's not one of those sit and contemplate type people like I was growing up. That would also be known as a lazy son.
So Cornelius, wherever that is.
What's the name of the town?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't speak to that intelligently.
Well, and then we toyed around with the idea of maybe pulling a drop by on Kyle, but then I was like, nah.
Well, that's would be probably way out of your way. I mean,
yes,
that's another.
Yeah. Well, so the thing I guess I always forget and don't appreciate, which now I do appreciate, and I shan't forget it again, is North Carolina width-wise.
Oh, it's
freaking huge.
It's over 750 miles, east to west.
Oh my gosh, that's a big state.
Yeah, it is. It's a deceptively big state.
And coming out of the Outer Banks, I guess there's probably no other way to do it, but just it's 110 miles of driving once you get off the Outer Banks themselves.
Yes.
As you head west, I guess it's the old 64 actually.
Yeah.
It's 110 miles of marshland and back and just
it's a low country,
middle of nowhere
until you get up to the fall. Until you get to the fall line,
yeah,
and then you go up to about.
But, there's like nothing.
It's like you're about 70 feet above sea level, with the highest all the way about maybe 200 miles in there, depending. Now the fall line's a lot closer to the coast the farther south you get.
Right.
But
my favorite was the sign that said Bear Crossing, next 15 miles. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Red Wolf Crossing, next 10 miles. I'm like, okay. And then we're driving, and it's like marsh and swamp and pine forest all mixed together. And Kelly's, and then there's like this sort of river stream thing running along the side of the road. I was like, I wonder if there's alligators out there. And I'm like, I bet there is. And then like literally 2 seconds later, it's like, Alligator River. I'm like, yeah, I bet.
The alligators go. They don't go much farther north than Wilmington.
Right. Yeah. But it's a pretty desolate.
When you visit the North Carolina USS North Carolina Battleship Memorial down in Wilmington, they abjure people going up the gangplank to don't fall in because they're alligators.
You'll get eaten.
There are alligators that surround the boat.
USS North Carolina.
Because they keep waiting for people to throw them food.
Disney. Yeah.